If x squared minus y squared over x squared plus y squared plus x squared plus y squared over x squared minus y squared is equal to the square root of 2, then what is x to the 8th minus y to the 8th all over x to the 8th plus y to the 8th equal to? Okay, first we're given this expression, so we want to get a common denominator. That means we're going to multiply the first fraction by x squared minus y squared over x squared minus y squared. The second fraction we're going to multiply by x squared plus y squared over x squared plus y squared. And so that's going to give us x to the 4th minus 2x squared y squared plus y to the 4th. And the common denominator will just be x to the 4th minus y to the 4th. So the second fraction, the numerator, is going to be basically the same thing as the first numerator, except instead of a minus, we have a plus here. So now we can add these two together. These will cancel. And x to the 4th plus x to the 4th is 2x to the 4th. Y to the 4th plus y to the 4th is 2y to the 4th. Now we can factor out a 2 and divide it by 2 to the other side. And so we have x to the 4th plus y to the 4th over x to the 4th minus y to the 4th is equal to square root of 2 over 2. Now we're going to multiply top and bottom by x to the 4th plus y to the 4th. And we get x to the 8th plus 2x to the 4th y to the 4th plus y to the 8th power. And that's going to be over x to the 8th minus y to the 8th. So keep in mind, we want to have, the x to the 8th and y to the 8th. So these are good. Except this 2x to the 4th, y to the 4th, that needs to get replaced by something. So we need to figure out a way to substitute that out. Okay, at this point I'm going to break it up into fractions. So this first fraction is good. Now the second fraction, we can think of it as bad, or something that we need to substitute. So in order to solve for 2x to the 4th, y to the 4th, we need to work with x to the 4th plus y to the 4th over x to the 4th minus y to the 4th equals square root of 2 over 2. And that was from the last slide. So we're going to have to square both sides. And so we get this fraction now. Square root of 2 squared is 2. 2 squared is 4. 2 over 4 becomes 1/2. And now I can cross multiply to get this. Now I'm going to subtract both sides by x to the 8th, y to the 8th. And then I'm going to subtract both sides by 4x to the 4th, y to the 4th. So I end up with x to the 8th plus y to the 8th is equal to negative 6x to the 4th, y to the 4th. And I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3 to get x to the 8th plus y to the 8th all over negative 3 is equal to 2x to the 4th, y to the 4th. And so recall, that's what we wanted to substitute for. So from 2 slides ago, we had two fractions. So one of the fractions was good. The other one, we want to make a substitution. So we're going to replace 2x to the 4th, y to the 4th with x to the 8th plus y to the 8th all over negative 3. So the negative 3 is, we're technically dividing it by the numerator by negative 3, which you can factor it out in front as just negative 1/3 times that. And this negative 1/3 is going to distribute. The way we're gonna treat this fraction is negative 1/3 is going to distribute the x to the 8th and y to the 8th. So like x to the 8th minus 1/3 x to the 8th becomes 2/3 x to the 8th, and then y to the 8th minus 1/3 y to the 8th is 2/3 y to the 8th. Now I can multiply both sides by 3/2 to eliminate the 2/3. And so I have 3 root 2 over 4. But notice I want x to the 8th minus y to the 8th at the top. But here I have in the denominator. So I'm going to flip both fractions. And notice 4 over root 2 is just 2 over root 2 over 3. So here, if you want, you can rationalize the denominator. So you can multiply top and bottom by square root of 2. So you have 4 square root of 2 over Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is 2 times 3 is 6. I guess if you want, we could just put it like this. And then 4 over 2 is just 2. And so this answers the question.